Okay, class weekly update. I think we're up to 8. So you've just finished week 1 of module 4 and about to start module or week 2 of that. So you're almost done the last section of journal 3, which is an exciting moment. Some quick updates. So let's see, we had, midterm grades were submitted. So thanks to Chloe for helping with that. That wouldn't have been possible without all the help she's had this semester. Also, the midterm exam, the practice midterm exam that I posted, I think in the end of module 3, please take a look at that, print it, and that's a good thing to see where you are. Lots of ways to assess your understanding. We've had a lot of low stakes assignments throughout the semester, and this is another way, just take a look at it. Make sure you can do those. There are all calculation problems on that. You have a pretty good sense of the concept questions from our quizzes and the journals. And Lainey is working on a answer key for that. So she's almost got that ready for me, and I'll post that and send an email to the class as well. That way, when you print it, take a look at it, check your work against Lainey's. She's got it completed perfectly. Let's see. Yeah, as usual, late assignments, you can submit those. You won't get full credit. If you want to contact us, if you have a situation, please let Chloe and I know if it's going to be an extended lateness. But we do want you to know that for the midterm grade, so congratulations as a class. They were incredible. They were awesome where you guys are doing this semester. But there's a few folks that have a lot of, didn't get a super high grade, have a lot of zeros sitting in there, some big fat zeros sitting in columns in Chloe's spreadsheet. And so you can submit late assignments. I mean, a 3 out of 10 is way better than a 0 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. So please go back if you do have the time and you're in that situation where you had some zeros, things came up. We always accept late assignments anyway. It's about mastery of the material. And so we'd love for you to do that. Let's see what else. Oh, also, I think the midterm grades just show amazing how well you guys are doing as a class, individually, in all aspects with this material. I mean, it's Calc 3, it's really hard and you're doing great, especially in this very challenging learning environment during COVID, this asynchronous thing that we're having to do. And then on top of that, I've had a couple errors, and I think this week's were not tiny little, typo things. So I want to thank folks because you're able to learn even despite some of my errors. And so this week, I want to thank Rian. Noticed in one of the videos, I think it was actually the first video for module 4, that I made arithmetic error. So the only way I could figure out how to fix that was to splice in a little bit of video in there. So the first, I think, 5 folks who watched those videos, I apologize to you. For the next folks, I believe I got that edited and corrected. Another error Lane contacted me about was on page 300 in your journals in this box about approximate Riemann sums. And I had n's that appeared there and then another n. So it's just a notational error that I used n a couple times in a couple different ways in the same formula. And that's horrible. No. So it was easy confusing for folks. And so it should be something like this, right? So your delta x's, maybe I should have used like you're going to take that space over here. This is we're going from 1 to 5. So we'll do b minus a is 5 minus 1 divided by the number of rectangles in the x direction. So we'll call that nx. And then divided by the number of rectangles in the y direction, we'll call that ny. So that's over here. I should have done something like that. And then the total number of rectangles is the number of divisions in the x direction times the number of divisions in the y direction. So we would get 4. So future editions will have that. And thanks to Lane, bonus for him, and apologize if that confused folks, but it seems like from your homeworks, it did not. You totally saw it visually and geometrically. Okay, then Jenna asked a really good question by email that it was so good I had to make a video. So that's actually at the beginning of week 2, you'll see a video about negative volume. So she asked a question. She remembered from area that you could have net area as opposed to physical area. And should y'all be thinking about that for volume? Does that apply? Yes, it does. And so I made a quick video on that. So thanks for that, Jenna. Okay. Oh, discussion boards, awesome on last week's discussion board that I saw a few folks posted. So I hope Nia, Emma, Grace and Jenna, that you folks get together and trade contact information. It really is a great way just to text or quickly phone each other. It is time. I think a couple of them made mention to the finals coming up. That's a big percentage of your grade. Everything is working towards you understanding and mastering the material by then. And this is a good way to do it with a study buddy. You can be very efficient. It's a lot more fun. So thanks for this post, and please follow up and contact each other. Okay, then the assignments. Overall, really nice job on last week's assignments. So just a few shout outs though. Several people did do the approximate a limb one, which was funny to see. I really liked Logan, so I put it in the samples and examples. Some other people approximated a limb, like Lane talked about he would, whatever it was, like if you could chop off the arm, and then he was going to fill everything with marbles, which was a neat idea because they're small, you know, bin packing, you're throwing them in there and then they're all uniform. You can take them out and count them. Zach and Brianna also approximated, Brianna with an E, approximated their limb in a very, Brianna did it by talking about getting circumferences in several places around her arm, and then she could figure those out to figure out the radius to then get the area of cross-sectional sections. So very precise and totally understood what was happening there. Same with Zach, really nice description of how he was going to get the volume of a limb. And let's see. Oh, and then the other assignments real quick, just to pull out some names I put in. I put this in the samples and examples section of module 4. Ellie, Brianna with an I, Kyra, Logan, Rian's, all of hers, she just really nice explanations on Rian's this week. So if you want to check out every assignment that she turned in, I actually put in there. Same thing with Christian Collins, really nice explanations, clearly laid out work, easy to see. And then the optimizations, I put Sam and Jenna's in there. I thought they had some really nice discussions of some of the follow-up questions, which was, would this work for any plane? You know, you had a particular plane at the origin, in some ways made the arithmetic and algebra easier, but suppose it was a different plane at a different point, how would you do it? They had some nice extensions from what they had done for part 1. Okay, let me see if there's anything. Oh, last comment was for picking classes, and I don't know why this came upon, but maybe someone sent me an email, but I have a note here that, oh, it was a couple of assignments mentioned. For optimization 1, you had this like iterative approach that you were going to do. And you talked about if I could just program this. And that just reminded me, I always tell all my math majors and advisees, and same would hold for you guys because you're all STEM folks, take as much programming as you can stand. If that's one class, great. If you can do a second one, go for it. Another one, that's only going to help you and separate you from the other STEM folks who maybe, you know, aren't so computational. So just take as much as you can stand, and then you can easily implement any of these ideas. I mean, these ideas for approximating odd shapes on bodies or limbs, like you now have a method for doing that. You could make a computer program that for you. Okay, I think that's it. Have fun with the last little bit of Journal 3. Have a good week.